Season 1 of WandaVision just wrapped, so let's talk about it. Hi, I am your host, Tommy B, and welcome to the Bailey Broadcast, where we talk about everything movies, television, and comics. Like I said in the intro, WandaVision Season 1 is a wrap. You know, it was a very unique series that I don't think any of us expected to be as good as it was. There were some things that left me, still questioning what's happening next, obviously, as a good show does. But it answered a lot, and we're going to talk about it. There are going to be some spoilers today, so if you've not watched the season finale, I would definitely watch it, come back, and we can talk about it. So, as a whole, when this series was first announced, I wasn't too sure what direction they were going to go. I love Elizabeth Olsen. I think she's great as the Scarlet Witch. Paul Bettany is good in everything he does, in my opinion. He's not really done me wrong, maybe besides Priest. But anyways, the series really kind of was a mystery. We didn't know what we were going to get. We didn't know, the direction. And obviously with the pandemic happening, we didn't know really anything about how they were going to start off this next phase. Obviously, it was supposed to be with Falcon and Winter Soldier first, and then everything changed, and we had to kind of, change our expectations a little bit. So with WandaVision, this show, like I said, was so unique in everything it did, everything it was going for. And first of all, Elizabeth Olsen and Paul Bettany. These people deserve to be nominated for some awards next season. Whether it's Golden Globes, Emmys, I don't care. They were tremendous. Their chemistry together was clearly visible through the entire series. And it was so easy to connect with them as a couple. My wife and I watched every episode together, and she is not even as big of a nerd as I am, but she loved it, and she really loved their chemistry together. So hats off to those guys who just killed it. And the rest of the cast too, Kat Dennings, Catherine Hahn, they were just phenomenal, and it was, a real delight to watch them, work together. Let's talk about that spoiler alert at the end of the season finale. Wanda is in a freaking cabin in the middle of nowhere, and she's doing her impression of Doctor Strange, right? She's obviously a little bit more powerful, that we found out from Agatha, and she's having some tea in the middle of the cabins, and then they pan around the corner into another room, and she's in her astral form reading the Darkhold, which I, figured she was going to get a lot of closure. They made it seem like she accepted her loss, at the end of, the season of WandaVision. And then you see her still looking for answers on how to bring her kids back, it sounds like. And I gotta tell you, it makes me nervous because I love to see her as a hero. Obviously, in the comics, she does things that definitely are not good. And I think they're really kind of sticking with that approach. I think with the Darkhold, it's opening up so many doors, obviously, for the MCU. Obviously, Blade's been announced. We got Moon Knight, and a very more supernatural heading coming our way. And obviously, with this show leading into Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness, anything's possible. She could rightfully be the villain of that movie, which I would be torn about, because I love to see her as a hero. I love, her arc as a whole, in the MCU. I think she has one of the most interesting arcs, that we have going. And if she does go that route, you can understand why, obviously, given this show and all the grief that she's had to go through, and with all the loss that she's had to deal with. So, but I hope, it turns out the way. Let's be real. Kevin Feige, hashtag Kevin Feige we trust, by the way. That guy knows what he's doing. He completely just knocks it out of the park every time. Damn you, Kevin Feige, for being so good at your job. But he won't lead us in the wrong direction. And whether she is the villain of Doctor Strange 2, or Doctor Strange has to kind of, pull the reins on her a little bit and be like, look, I understand what you're going through. I understand what you want to do. Let me help you. because what you're going to be doing on your own, if you try it, is going to be hell for me. So ultimately, this series was so well written. There were so many theories that we as fans kind of came up with along the show, along the whole season. A lot of them were wrong, some were right, but yeah, I ultimately was super satisfied. Um, I think the whole Quicksilver thing was a little bit of a tease, not even a tease, just unfair in a way, just because we all knew when we saw Evan Peters walk through that door that, you know, there was a possibility that he was going to be the Quicksilver that we knew from the Fox universe, and this was the beginning of the multiverse and what have you. And then to come to find out, again, spoilers, that he was Ralph, Agatha's husband, the entire time, Ralph Boner, out of all names. It was just a little bit frustrating in a way, because to have an actor of that magnitude, you know, in that role, as well as he played it, I think we all kind of wanted to see Evan Peters either play the main villain, whether it was Mephisto, Nightmare, whatever theory or guy you wanted to see him play, or just the Quicksilver that we know from Fox. He is just too good to me to be the Ralph, the husband of Agatha. But you know, it is what it is. I understand why they did it, and you know, that's Kevin Feige for you. So, other than that, gotta love Monica. I think Monica Rambeau is a super cool character that I can't wait to see more of. With that other mid-credit scene, kind of showing us the direction that her character is going to be going. Obviously, you know, spoilers once again. The Skrulls, out of all, you know, things that we wanted to see, I thought there was a more possibility to see them. Whether it was the team that really supported Monica in Sword, to finally get one at the end was pretty cool. And obviously, we got an old friend kind of calling you up, Nick Fury or Talos. I don't know which one it'll be. I think they were both friends of Maria Rambeau, so we'll just have to wait and see. But again, this season was so well done. The emotion that came through in pretty much every episode was just fantastic, and that goes obviously to Elizabeth Olsen and Paul Bettany, who just nailed it out of the park. So gotta have a lot of respect for them, and I can't wait to see where their characters go from here. Obviously, we just talked about Wanda and, you know, where she's headed, but what about Paul Bettany and Vision? Obviously, the White Vision is still out there. Where did he go? Did he just decide, oh, I don't need to fight anymore. We're good. I'm chill. You know, I'm gonna go, you know, solve the universe and the answers to who I am. I mean, I get it, but like at that moment, you know, maybe he could have been a little more useful. Who knows? But definitely curious to see where Paul Vision pops up next. You know, they definitely are, you know, it's possible that they go the West Coast Avengers, and maybe we see him on the West Coast, you know, with these, you know, young Avengers possibly. Who knows? But definitely excited to see the direction that they go with him. Now, I don't know if there's going to be a second season, but if there is, you know, I mean, Kevin Feige already said that Doctor Strange 2 is pretty much the second season of Wanda and WandaVision. So I wouldn't get my hopes up to see another season, but you never know. I mean, it's possible. So with that said, you know, I highly recommend this series. I know a lot of people who, you know, are in my circle thought that the first 3 episodes were a little slow for them, and obviously after the 4th episode, it just kind of takes off from there. But honestly, if you watch this show, just keep in mind that everything that you see has a purpose. You know, Kevin Feige just doesn't throw in these filler type of episodes for nothing. There are little intricate details in these first 3 episodes that are clues, you know, that tell you obviously this world is not the real world, and that something is off with Wanda and Vision. And, you know, you do learn later on that, hey, in her childhood as a Sokovian child, her dad would sell these old sitcoms, you know, on Blu-ray or DVD, probably DVD, and that's what they would watch, you know. And so it makes sense as long as you can stick with it. I know a lot of people wanted to give up after the first 3 episodes, and I get it. You know, it's not for everybody. For me, who, you know, loves television and watching those old sitcoms, it just kind of reminds me of watching, you know, I Love Lucy and stuff with my grandparents in the Bay Area. And so, you know, it's very cool to see a show like this, like WandaVision, that will go to that extreme and really, you know, hit home for a lot of people. So, again, I would just recommend anyone who loves Marvel and has been a little skeptical on this series to really give it a shot. The action is very minuscule, obviously. The first time we get any action really whatsoever, like hardcore, you know, almost Avengers style action, is the finale, which definitely to me didn't live up to the hype. I mean, obviously Paul Bettany saying that, oh, there's more CGI than, you know, Avengers Endgame in this finale. I don't know if I would agree with that. However, the action and the CGI looked great. I would say obviously they're working with, you know, a lot more money than a normal TV show to make these things look cool. And they did. They made it look really cool. But if you're looking for an action show, this definitely isn't it. This is a emotional roller coaster following Wanda's grief. And, you know, I think Vision said it best in, I think it was the 7th episode, or 8th episode, where him and Wanda are on the bed, and fucking Kevin Feige, so good at your job. Vision says to Wanda, "What is grief if not love persevering?" And that's just a beautiful sentiment, because we all have lost somebody, and I think we all deal with grief and loss in different ways. But it's so true, you know, when you go through those stages, it is your way of showing how much you love that person. And, you know, it was truly a beautiful thing to see Wanda kind of come full circle for the most part. You know, by the end of WandaVision, she's kind of accepted, you know, her loss, and, you know, you feel for her once again, and you understand why she did what she did, whether you agreed with what she was doing or not. So I think at the end of the day, this show gets just beautiful recommendations from me, and beautiful just overall storytelling. And that's what we want. We want a good story when we watch these shows. Yeah, the action's great, but Marvel just showed you we can have a killer show, the #1 show in the world, with having zero action. That's just amazing, you know, for over 10 years of what they've given us so far, and everything that they've put out having so much action. It's just amazing that they can flex like this and just say, no, we're not going to even do that. We're going to go complete 180. So all in all, highly recommend it. I would give this show an 8 out of 10, just because there are a few question marks that I felt were left unanswered. But all in all, you got to see it. Check it out. And thank you for checking out my video. If you like what you see, please hit that like and subscribe button. And we will see you next time on the Bailey Broadcast.